On the night of March 11, 1962, a small radio station in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, aired a strange broadcast that no one expected. The program was supposed to be a regular late-night weather report, but something happened that night, something still unexplained to this day. For exactly 11 minutes, the station was taken over by a voice, a cold, flat voice. No music, no static, just the voice. It didn't identify itself, but it claimed something outrageous, that it came from an observer beyond your time, and that the next 9 presidents of the United States had already been chosen, not elected, but selected. At first, no one believed it. Just another hoax. But then, what the voice said started to come true. It named names. Johnson, Nixon, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump. Each name was spoken clearly and slowly, in that same emotionless tone. The strange part? In 1962, only one of those men, Lyndon B. Johnson, had any clear path to the presidency. Ronald Reagan was just an actor. Bill Clinton was a teenager. Barack Obama? He was only a few months old. The station's engineers claimed they had no idea how the message got on the air. The tape reels had been wiped clean. Even stranger, the station's signal had jumped from its usual 1,000-watt local range to over 50,000 watts, powerful enough to be picked up as far as Canada. But no equipment in the building could have done that. The FBI showed up the next morning. They confiscated the tapes, logs, and even typewritten scripts from that night. The 2 engineers on duty were taken in for questioning and told never to speak about what happened. One of them, John Myers, disappeared 3 weeks later. The other, Charlie Bell, never spoke of that night again, not even to his own family. He died in 1974, but in 2005, his grandson found a shoebox in his attic. Inside was a yellow page, scribbled with a short note. They weren't just predictions. They were instructions. That one sentence started a quiet investigation by a group of online researchers who called themselves signal seers. Over the years, they uncovered pieces of government documents, mostly blacked out, but some words stood out again and again: Project Scribe, extratemporal intelligence, and pattern lock. In 2017, one member of the group, under the alias Alpha Echo 9, posted a detailed theory. According to him, Project Scribe was a joint operation between the CIA and an unknown group possibly linked to a secret Air Force base in Nevada, one that didn't officially exist on any map until 1989. The project was supposedly focused on capturing and decoding transmissions from an alien source. But the transmissions weren't random. They were timed perfectly with moments of global crisis: the Cuban Missile Crisis, the fall of Saigon, the Challenger explosion, 9/11. Each time, a burst of data would hit a now-decommissioned satellite called Echo 2. That satellite, launched in 1964, was a communications balloon, but researchers now believe it was designed to intercept and triangulate non-Earth-based signals. But what does this have to do with the 1962 broadcast? According to declassified pages from Project Scribe, the voice on the radio wasn't just a warning. It was a key, a sequence, a code that unlocked a pattern the U.S. government had been trying to understand since the Roswell crash in 1947. That pattern suggested that the highest levels of U.S. leadership had been influenced, not by voters, but by something else. The 9 presidents named by the voice all had unexplained connections to certain military or intelligence figures. Nixon worked for a man who attended the first Roswell debriefing. Reagan, while governor of California, pushed for a space defense system long before Star Wars was ever public. Obama's mother worked for USAID, which had known ties to covert operations during the Cold War. And Donald Trump, his uncle John G. Trump, was the MIT scientist who examined Nikola Tesla's secret papers rumored to involve energy from beyond this world. Here's where it gets stranger. After the 9th name, Trump, there were no more names. Some believe this meant the pattern would end, that the experiment, whatever it was, had concluded. Others fear the opposite, that the voice had no need to continue because what was coming next was not a presidency, but a shift. In 2020, an audio engineer in Idaho, working on old frequency scans, claimed he picked up a repeating signal echoing the original 1962 broadcast. He played it on loop for hours. Eventually, a second voice emerged in the background. This time, it didn't give names. It simply repeated a phrase. The transfer is near. The human form must adapt. That engineer vanished 3 months later. His wife says he began having vivid dreams of cold rooms, bright lights, and tall figures with glowing hands. He told her, days before he disappeared, that something was waking up inside him. His last known location was near Groom Lake, Nevada, close to Area 51. Back in Point Pleasant, the original radio tower from a 1962 broadcast still stands, though it's no longer active. In 2021, a drone researcher flew over the site and picked up a strange EM pulse, a pulse that matched the frequency of the 1962 takeover. The signal is still there, silent but pulsing, like it's waiting. Some believe it's a countdown. Others believe the 1962 broadcast wasn't from the future at all, but from a parallel intelligence operating outside of linear time, a non-human mind, capable of inserting ideas and events into our reality through subtle influence. Presidents, wars, innovations, even social movements. It's all part of a larger script, and that night in 1962, the first page was read aloud. But why Point Pleasant? That town is also known for the Mothman sightings of 1966 to 67, glowing red eyes, wings, and messages of doom. Could these events be connected? Was Mothman not a creature, but a messenger? A biological probe sent to observe the results of the broadcast? No one knows. But one final detail haunts those who study this mystery. In 1961, 1 year before the broadcast, a classified report was filed to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, marked Eyes Only. The report, obtained through FOIA requests, mentions a theoretical scenario in which extraterrestrial actors may attempt to influence political outcomes via cognitive transmission, a fancy way of saying that alien thoughts could be planted in human minds. It ends with this line: "The voice will not be understood when heard, only when it has finished." And now that the ninth name has come to pass, we must ask, has the voice finished, or is something else about to begin?